You know what? This doesn't even deserve an introduction. Seriously, this film does not deserve an introduction. What's up, guys? AWA Air War Order. How are you all doing today, man? On the Sunday afternoon. Hope you're all doing good. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, man, this is gonna be hard. This is hard. This is hard. I mean, well, you can tell I'm not very excited to do this stream, but we're gonna talk about Moon 2 Part 2, the Scargiver. I watched this movie last night, and before I get into the spoiler review, I'm not even putting up a banner up. You know the drill. Uh, but yeah, I watched this movie last night before I went to sleep. Let's just say, not a good movie. Not a good movie. Not a really good movie. It's just as bad as the last one, Part 1. Yo, Degrassi. Uh, I'm gonna try to spoil. I'm gonna spoil this as much as possible. For this movie, I don't think for this movie, it's spoiling this is not a big deal. This thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't completely understand this story trying to tell because the writing is so terrible. I mean, it's poorly written. Some stuff doesn't make sense. It's just as bad. It's. I'll say the only good thing about this film is some of the action scenes. That's it. But even some of the action scenes make a question mark like physics in reality, because there's some stuff in the last part of the last I say fifth hour where the gets jam packed. Be like, how is that possible? No way. How is this possible? Seriously, like the questions, it makes you question like, no, that person should survive a barrage of gunshots or a cannon. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay. Uh, and I have George on. Hey, George, I know you saw it last night, and I reminded you the Knicks and Sixers game. So you paused that, right? Then you went back to finish it. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then during the Knicks game, because the Knicks game was so enjoyable,
It was a
I
good
forgot
game.
I forgot the part. I had all of a sudden forgotten about what I was watching, so I went back to it. I was like, this plot just don't make
Oh,
any sense.
oh my
This is
God!
this is
So
the most. This is just horrible. This is basically. I feel like this is Zack Snyder exposed right here, because when he's trying to do his own original thing, it just looks so bad. I'm sorry.
the only good thing is some of the action scenes, but even the action scenes doesn't. It makes you question things like,
I mean, good lord, is Lucasfilm gonna sue for some of the stuff that was in here,
oh, wow, they shouldn't even bother. They'd be like, they should just laugh at it and be like, what
or
the.
they should be like, you know what? This movie makes Rise of Skywalker look like Empire Strikes Back, so
Oh,
we're
why is
just gonna
Skywalker's 1,000 times better than this?
listen. Any
Star Wars,
Disney
no.
Star Wars project, even if you hate the prequels, because I know some people don't like the prequels, you can't
Still
deny that
better.
the prequels are a million times better. And look, I like the prequels. I do like Phantom Menace. I like some things in Attack of the Clones. I love Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But even Attack of the Clones is a million times better than what
Oh.
Zack Snyder put on here. Seriously, thank goodness you reminded me that the Knicks game was on, because I was like, you know what? I can't watch this without a pause, because this is just so painful to watch.
It was a tale of two movies. 1 hour is basically, on the village, right? And then the other hour is basically the whole battle. And
But
it's
it's
just
like there are moments
go
where I was
ahead.
watching something like, wait a minute, this went from a Star Wars movie to like the vibe of a Hunger Games movie.
Yeah, or
Like
something like
seriously, is it
that.
me or was there like a Hunger Games vibe like in a couple of scenes? Like what is going on here? You're just taking from more superior movies, but you're making it look worse.
It's everything about this movie, right?
No, like
It's
not
who
even
the hell?
Not even Anthony Hopkins' narration can save this
Where
movie.
the hell did the villagers get all that technology from? Did I forget something in the first movie?
You know what? I've forgotten so much from the first movie. It was just like, well, because both these movies, they're not good. I mean,
No,
I think even I think I think it was RJ that brought it up. Jeremy Johns, who is a Zack Snyder fan, who loved the
yeah,
Snyder cut,
I
gave this
saw that
movie his lowest rating,
ever, right?
and it's
Right?
like this is what I'm kind of seeing right now. Zack Snyder wants to go IP, his own original IP work is just not good. When he
No,
touches upon another IP, I think he does better because look,
except for
his
the
Dawn.
DC stuff. Except for the DC stuff.
Listen, his Dawn of the Dead remake is actually one of the best horror remakes. I like his Dawn of the Dead did a lot. 300, I thought was a great movie. I
Oh
thought
yeah, 300. Yeah, I'll give that. I'll
Watchmen was
give that.
pretty good.
Decent,
I
yeah.
liked his Owl movie. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it for what it
But
was.
when it comes to the other D, not Watchmen, when it came to DC, that's when.
I like Man of Steel.
Yeah,
Batman versus Superman was a miss. I love the Snyder cut, but it's like after that, I mean, I've never seen Sucker Punch, but I heard Sucker Punch before BVS came out was considered his worst movie.
I don't know how people like the uh the last not the I was gonna say Walking Dead, the Army of the Dead,
Army, of the, I'm baffled that that has
an
one of his
audience.
highest Rotten Tomato ratings. I'm sorry, that movie to me was just
Exactly.
over 2 hours of just dumb, not even fun shit happening. I mean, the best part of the movie was probably the new version of Viva Las Vegas. Like I
Yeah.
like the version that was sung in that movie at the beginning, but it's just like I couldn't care for this. It's like I rather watch his Dawn of the Dead movie because I actually enjoy that movie.
I
It's not as long.
can
It's
cause
got more interesting characters. I mean, face it, the character that they went to save in Army of the Dead ended up dying.
can Zach stop? I know you did a lot of movies with armies involved. But you know how the character Titus, right? The general always gives you speeches. They sound so generic. I know they read off a script. Obviously, they read off a script and memorize the lines. But it really feels like he's looking at the camera and there's like a telecopter. You know that right? When you read off a telecopter, right? You know
Oh,
that's
teleprompter, yeah.
teleprompter. It feels like when he says those speeches to fire up the village, it feels like he's reading off a teleprompter, not actually memorizing the lines because it feels so fake.
And here's here's the thing that kills me. Isn't there like a clip of like Zach like ranting about how like don't like voting against his movies or whatever, or saying that he's not a unique filmmaker. He's become so
He's
cliched.
a,
I'm sorry.
he's not a unique filmmaker. He is a unique filmmaker because he only does one style.
But it's like his style has become so formulaic in its own way that it's like there's nothing special
If
about his movies
if
anymore.
he is a unique, and I'll tell you an example who's not a unique filmmaker, Steven Spielberg, because he doesn't just do science fantasy stuff. He does other stuff.
But it's like here's the difference between Spielberg and Snyder.
Yeah,
Spielberg, like I know people have their criticisms of Spielberg, which is fine because he hasn't made a
every
great
director, right? Every director.
blockbuster movie in quite some time, but he's made recently some great realistic fiction or like historical
Yeah.
movies. Like, listen, Spielberg can do any genre. He can do blockbuster. He can do science fiction. He can do
X, and the thing is, he
like
doesn't do.
history.
He did in all his films. He doesn't do the typical what Zack Snyder does, like slow motion, great action stuff. He doesn't do it. Spielberg doesn't do
No,
that.
it's like obviously, I think the only thing that's formulaic with Steven Spielberg is John Williams does a lot of his scores, but
Okay,
John
yeah,
Williams is so unique in his scoring,
I,
and he makes such great scores that we can
yeah.
forgive that. It's like
We
he's got Indiana Jones, historical, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
historical, like we can easily forget. I mean, gotta
I
remember
mean,
this is the same
Zack
guy.
Snyder goes to the same guy too. Doesn't he go with Junkie?
Well, like he used to go. Yeah, he goes with Junkie. Like, yeah, I remember like this, like Spielberg. This is the same guy that
Yes, I know the guys.
in 1993 he had
Yeah,
both Schindler's List and Jurassic Park came out, and those are two of some of the best movies that have ever come out.
yeah.
So it's like Spielberg has shown his range.
Range.
Not everything hits, but even if a movie's not that great, like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it doesn't make it terrible. Was it disappointing? Sure, but at least there was enjoyment. There was no enjoyment in this movie.
No, this
It's
film
like
had no enjoyment.
this is the problem that I've noticed with Zack Snyder. And I say this as someone who does enjoy some of Zack Snyder's movies. He tries too hard to be dark and edgy. It's like you don't have to be this dark and edgy. And the thing is, he doesn't have what Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve have, who are also serious filmmakers. He just doesn't have that level of interest in his movies. Like Nolan and Villeneuve still keep you interested. Like they still have at least some humor, some level that of enjoyment
Because it
that
makes
doesn't make their movies
sense.
dull.
Because it makes sense. Because
Like,
the writing
I
makes
mean,
sense.
listen, like Nolan just made the best movie of last year in Oppenheimer. Right now, Dune Part Two
Yeah,
is the best movie of this year. Villeneuve, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out being the best movie of the year.
yeah. And look,
If Dune Part Two didn't get delayed last year, we'd be
look.
having discussions of what was the best movie of last year. Nolan's Oppenheimer or Villeneuve's Dune Part Two. I think it's Oppenheimer personally, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people prefer Dune Part Two.
Look, James Gunn. James Gunn has a style too. Okay, has a style too. His style. Compared to Zack Snyder, is very sim. They have their preferred style, but James Gunn does it in a way where he has the dialogue, the story. It's it it doesn't stray away from the overall story. Because like when we talk about Peacemaker, yeah, there's a lot of humor in Peacemaker, a lot of funny stuff in Peacemaker, right? But it it did stray away from the seriousness, right? You did right, like same with, it's just that he's a better writer, James Gunn, and he right. So, but Zack Snyder, it's just that this film, the last stuff made no sense. There's so many fucking plot holes. That one girl, what's her name, Millie? I don't remember her in the first film. You know that one girl?
Yeah,
Who the hell was she? Was she in the first film?
I can't remember because that's the thing. It's like people
I,
say, "Oh, well, Snyder's movies are so memorable." Not these two movies. Army of the Dead is more memorable than this.
at least Army Dead has some humor in it. This had no humor in it. This was just, you know what this movie was? This movie was bland, paint dry, bland. It's like you rather watch a wall, you know, dry up after painting it. This is how bad this movie is. It's especially the first hour. The first hour is horrible because the first hour is a lot of story build up, right? It was supposed to be story build up, but it was so bad. All of a sudden, they start training the villagers. All of a sudden, the villagers, like in 5 days, right? They have 5 days until the motherland people come, right?
And the
Remember?
cinematography is just so
Oh
bland in these
wow.
movies.
5 days. 5 days. All of a sudden, these villagers become experts on how to use weapons. They probably never fired. They never used a weapon in their life. All of a sudden, first try, perfect, perfect. First try. They don't even like struggle. Also, it's I don't and the relationship between Cora and the guy. Um, I forget the name. What's his name again? This is not bad. Like this is not bad to do this. And the reason why the title's called Scargiver is so fucking bad too. That's a It's such a bad reason why the title's called Scargiver. All is because the guy comes back from the dead, and when Cora killed him in the first film, we showed him come back, and he has a scar from where Cora stabbed him or
This
whatever,
movie
right?
gave me scars.
Yeah, this movie gave me scars too, right? And that's the reason it's called Scargiver, right? That's the reason it's called Scargiver. I'm like, that's a fucking bad reason. That's a terrible reason. Because she calls her the Scargiver. I'm like, that's the reason for the title of the film? Really? Really? That is so ridiculous. Who is the Gunner? Oh yeah, Gunner was the name. That relationship, like what the? I know that. Like I know that there was a little bit of it in the first film, but like I felt like so forced in the second film. I felt like when you see them, when after they slept together, I feel like what the hell is this? I feel no connection with them ever in a. I, and my God, and they give those 2 minute backstories of each character, right? 2 minute backstories. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Are you seriously? That was so lame because we need a backstory. One of Chris, right? We need a backstory of one of these characters. It was. It's the way they talk to each other. All of a sudden, they knew each other for 5, 6 days or a week, and they're like best friends already. They're like, yeah, we're best friends already. You just what the fuck, man. It's a, and I just
Some scenes are just hard to look at because the
I know.
cinematography is just so ugly and dull. I mean, good lord. Anyone, if anyone says that this movie and part one are better than Doom Part Two,
They're an idiot.
they deserve all the bad luck in the world. I'm sorry. Doom Part Two had terrific cinematography. The plot, even though it was a longer movie, was easier to understand. Same thing with Doom Part One, like easier to understand. It didn't have to dumb down anything as well, and you can still
How's
follow it. It would
how's
to me is complex cinema done right.
how does this have a 51% audience rating?
It should have like a 10% or lower. But then again, I think we've established that the Snyder fans have hijacked every single site at this point. I'm curious to see what the letterbox score is later. I just
Oh
don't
my!
I just don't get it.
It
And
is.
look, here's the thing. You can be a fan of Zack Snyder and have enjoyed his previous work like I have. But you can't really sit here and tell me that this movie and part one were
I,
good movies or
I,
even enjoyable movies.
there's fucking no way a farmland, even with a bunch of warriors defending it and trading, could take down an army like that. I'm sorry. That army, that there's no way that's possible. Okay? No way that's possible. I don't care if it's a good guy versus bad guy. I'm sorry. There's no way an army could lose to. The army people are so stupid too. They're so stupid. So they have bad aiming. They have worse. The villagers had a few days of training, and these people in the military for the motherland, right? Probably had to train the whole time. Had longer training, obviously, and they can't even hit. And they're terrible at their job. It's fucking ridiculous. It's and that one girl Millie who shot that I don't know that spider-looking tank that whatever. She got up so close to it to fire the rocket launcher. I'm like, and you how can you? I'm like to the. I'm like, how can you miss her? She's right in front of you. Easily shoot her. It's this movie. The physics don't really. I know. I heard that's true. And Blind is not coming on because he did see it, so he won't be coming on.
Maybe he should avoid watching it at all costs.
I caught rebel shit too. This movie.
Like, good lord, you know what? I'm so glad I'm seeing Spider-Man 2 at my Alamo Draft House tomorrow. I'm seeing Spider-Man 2 in theaters tomorrow.
I like honestly, Degrassi guys. Like I want to spoil this movie, but it's so hard to spoil this movie because it's so fucking hard to understand. I'm like, what is this movie supposed to be about? Is
Like,
this supposed to be about salt or revenge on the
but
girl?
here's the thing. Like, Degrassi's talking about how free screenings and not a
Mhm.
single report of a full house. Spider-Man 2, a movie that's been out for nearly 20 years, has got nearly full screenings for tomorrow night at the AMC. And I was lucky to get a good ticket at my Alamo Draft House because tickets were running out. A movie that's been out for almost 20 years on DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, TV. More people would rather see that again in the theaters
Then
than this new Zack Snyder movie.
and it's
What does
free.
that
This is
tell you?
free. And this is free.
And by the way, the Draft House, the tickets are quite pricey. Same with the AMC.
You know
But
what's
yeah,
you know
you know
what
what? People would rather
you know what's
recapture.
the worst thing about this film? It's teasing a third film.
Oh, gosh.
Because remember at the end, we're gonna find the princess. The princess is still alive. I'm like, how do they know the princess is still alive? How do they know that? How do they fucking know the princess is still alive? How do they? How do they know that? Do have some psychic link to her? How do they know she's still alive? How does the general know she's still alive? How did? How do they know? Like George, how do they know she's still alive?
I'm as lost as you are. I
Oh my
just
god!
don't get the love for this movie.
They're,
If there even is any love, I think people are gonna force themselves to like this movie because it's Zack Snyder. It's like, guys, your favorite directors can make bad movies. It's happened.
yeah.
Every director, listen, I love Kevin Smith movies, or at least his early work, but I also recognize that some of his work from the early 2010s is not good.
No.
He's gotten a bit better going back to Jay and Silent Bob and Clerks 3, though
But
those movies were fine, but like between Clerks 2 and Jay and Silent Bob reboot,
but it seems like Zack
his
Snyder doesn't want to improve.
reboot, as much as I enjoyed it, has its own problems.
Yeah. It seems like Zack Snyder doesn't want to improve on his one weakness. Like it's the storytelling.
He
It's
can't write good scripts.
I
Listen,
don't.
you know what helps Dawn of the Dead out so much? James Gunn wrote the script for that.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't know who wrote 300 and Watchmen, but you gotta remember those were adapted from comics.
Yeah.
So he is obviously being respectful to that source material. Remember, before this Netflix stuff came out, before Batman versus Superman,
You know,
his worst movie was Sucker
you know
Punch.
what's funny? He's like edgy, right? He likes edgy stuff. You know, the original Star Wars was kind of edgy if you think about it, because
Original Star Wars also had a level of enjoyment to it.
yeah, that's true too.
And the thing is, the cinematography looked very good. Like the cinematography in these Rebel Moon movies bugs me so much. It could be because I've gotten more into film. I don't know. Maybe Blinded has rubbed off on me with his takes on movies, but it's like
I'll bite him in, but we didn't see
but
it
the
though.
cinematography of these Rebel Moon movies is just mind-boggling that anyone thinks this looks good. Would think this looks good when it does
What?
not.
What? I know slow motion when they're training, right? With all the greens, the farming stuff, right? Why do we need slow motion for that? Why do we need fucking slow motion for that? Like, do we need slow motion for such minuscule things? Seriously?
I mean, for goodness sakes, the slow motion in The Great Gatsby made more sense than the slow motion in this movie. And I remember when I watched Great Gatsby, I was like, why are certain stuff in slow mo?
Yeah.
Like even in a movie like Great Gatsby, it made more sense.
Oh my god. I think seriously. I'm like, oh my god, we have to wait five
You know,
seconds
I,
before the
I,
arrow
I
hits somebody.
I have to laugh. I was watching, Movie Madness Entertainment last night, and
I didn't come
Max
on.
was like, well, yeah, Max was like talking about how like he didn't like Scooby Doo 2002. I'd rather watch Scooby Doo 2002 than this,
Scooby Doo tells.
and Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I'd rather watch
Yeah.
the Scooby Doo movies because they're funny.
Uh,
And you know what? They've actually, I think they've kind of held up pretty well, in my opinion.
You know what's so ridiculous when Cora explains the backstory when they killed the king and the queen and then she killed the daughter, the princess, and all of a sudden they framed her. You murder, murder, murder! Like, the kind of when he was yelling it was like so unhinged and stuff. It was like that kind of made me laugh, and not laugh in a funny way. You laugh and like, oh my god, this is terrible. That kind of way, when you laugh at something when it's bad, right? That's the kind of laugh I got, and I'm like, and you had those people playing the instrument in the background the whole time during the assassination. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously, nobody's in shock? Like, what the hell is this? I I don't understand this film at all. I don't. Which guy's face? I do that. Well, Oh, that what is it? I don't even know what he's called. I don't know what his name is. Um. Did you see the Nemesis? The Nemesis, that's the woman who dies. The with the blades. The blades, right? She dies, and I guess she has a connection with that boy. And it's like, what the hell? Like that connection with that little boy. Remember that? I'm like, what the fuck? Her backstory is so strange to me. We're a peaceful people, but back in the past, we used to not be peaceful people. But I gotta cut off my hands, my arms to be. And I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. Do it. Yeah. Like what the fuck? And then I thought, and then Titus' backstory. I thought Titus was a former general of the Motherland. I didn't know he was a rebel against them. Seriously. Oh my god. And Tarek was a prince, and I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. Like this is so bad. I, I seriously, and they're teaching a third movie, where they're gonna go up against they got to go find the princess. I guess it's because if they find the princess, they could bring back the. But I thought with the king, I don't know, George. I don't know. I might be missing something here. I thought the king and queen were tyrants too. The motherland. I thought they were tyrants too. Okay. I thought they were not good people either. Am I missing something here? Isn't
Was
that
anyone
some?
really good in this movie? Like, there's no
I
likable
don't know.
characters.
I,
I feel like all these movies have been a giant waste of time.
yeah, I saw. Thank you, thank you. What the fuck is this character's name? This
I
guy
mean,
gives me. This guy gives me. You know this. This guy gives me uh, Ezekiel Sims vibes from Madame Reb. Look
oh,
at him.
you know what? I'm glad you brought Madam Web. I'd rather rewatch Madam Web than this. I'm sorry. At least Madam Web, as bad as it was hilariously bad. This is just painfully
It'll be.
fan-forstick bad.
Oh my god.
I got PTSD from this movie. Reminding me of fan-forstick. At least Madam Web, as bad as it was, it's hilariously bad.
It is. Oh my god. Here, here. Let's see if I can print this up. Wait. I'll print something up that clip. Is that his name? Balasaurus? Was he a dinosaur? Sounds like a dinosaur name. Is this it? Okay. Wait. Okay. This is it. 2 seconds. Thank you for the grass your fineness for me. I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
Do it, kill her. Do it, kill her.
Why am I getting memories of The Room from Tommy Wiseau?
I think it'd be better. I did not hit her.
I not true. I did not. I did not. Oh,
I
hi,
think
Clark.
I think I'm
I'm
mad at
having,
you.
I'm having problems with Lisa. She said that I hit her. You know what? The Room is cinema
Blinded.
compared to this.
Blinded. Trust me. If you don't care about me, trust me. This movie is not worth.
Blinded. This movie
spoiled.
makes Madam Web look like cinema. It makes
not-
Madam Web look like The Empire Strikes
It's-
Back of comic book movies.
It's not worth being spoiled. Blinded. Trust me. Trust me. It's not worth not being spoiled. Sorry, but yeah, this is oh my god. And she goes back to that haircut later on in the show, right? Oh yeah, I'll get to the other one in that thread. There is more. There's another one. I'll get to that. Just a minute.
Put us out of our misery.
Where is it? Was that Carrie Ells? Carrie Ells played that character? Why is it? Are you telling me the guy from Princess Bride played that character? Hey, Anthony, let me go. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Okay, it's like 2 seconds again. Um, I think he was. I don't remember. Yeah, he was in the first one.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, you're supposed to be intimidating. You're supposed to be a tyrant, right? Like the.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is he trying to like imitate Palpatine with "do it"? But when Palpatine does it, it might come across as funny, but also comes across as like a bit frightening because all of a sudden he's still in Chancellor mode, and he's all of a sudden
he's laughing too,
like saying,
he's
"Good,
saying
Anakin, good."
He's saying manically, right? Like manically,
Kill him now.
Yeah, he's
And
saying
he's
that's
like,
a manically voice. Yeah.
It's like his whole demeanor changes, and it's like, oh wow,
Exactly.
like I mean, obviously we know he's gonna become the emperor, but it's like it just like happens all of a sudden. Like you don't expect it to happen like right away for him to start going, do it.
Yeah, and like in Return of the Jedi, when he was electrocuting Luke, right, and the way he was reacting and like manically laughing, right, like that, man. Like, and he's like, dude, kill your father and take his place. Like, yeah. Oh my god. Do it. Do it. There should be a clip. I should clip this as one of my things in the Brad as a joke. Do it. Do it.
The Force is strong with you. The amount of innuendo with Palpatine and Revenge of the Sith, it never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, this is what it looks like, right? Okay. Let me see if it loads.
What?
That's not Carrie Ells, is it? Is that really Carrie Ells? Who's Carrie Ells playing in this film?
I can't believe Carrie Ells like was in this movie.
This is really Carrie Ells. He's playing this.
Oh my goodness.
No, he's the king. He's not this character. He's the king that got killed.
I just don't get it.
He's not this guy. Carrie Ells is the guy he assassinated. They assassinated with the queen and the princess. Thank God. Oh, the actor who plays this character, his name is Fra Free. Fra Free. That's his name, Fra Free.
I want to know what kind of script was pitched to these actors to make them sign on to this. I really want to know how this movie was pitched to them.
I don't know.
Like, I'm dying to know.
This guy was in Hawkeye? Oh. This guy was in Hawkeye? Really? Let's see. Yeah, I think it might. Yeah, this guy does look familiar. Oh yeah, he does. Oh yeah, he's Kazi. Yeah, he's Kazi from Hawkeye. You know that villain in Hawkeye, that male villain that's part of the street suit mafia. Remember that guy Kazi, who had a connection with Echo.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It's the same actor. Same actor. Yeah, it's the same actor.
Yo, I'm looking. I'm as we're streaming. I'm looking at like the Alamo Drafthouse menu because I want to get a meal while watching my movie tomorrow.
Goes from Hawkeye to this.
I'm debating if I want to get fried chicken or a breakfast club.
And you know what's ridiculous? Oh yeah, I'm planning to get takeout later today too. That's why I'm doing this early. You know what's stupid? Zack Snyder says he wants to do like 6 movies, right? Like 6 movies, right? And they could be in parts, right? I'm like, I don't think Netflix should give you a 3rd movie.
No, why Netflix? Netflix, stop wasting your time.
No, especially with the new guy in charge. Degrassi, remind me the new guy's name in charge for me, please. The name, because this guy has said some pretty harsh stuff about Zack Snyder in the past. That's accident that it's a new Bright, and Bright's getting a sequel, by the way. It's getting a sequel. Dan Lin, yeah, this guy Dan Lin. Remember, he was one of the rumors candidates to run the DC Studios. I could go on cam anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you're.
Yeah, so that got in charge, right? But he went to Netflix instead, right? And he's one of the harsh critics of Zack Snyder stuff. Um,
Don't
you
get
guys,
this guy. Like I'm sorry. Like unless he actually has a good script or a good movie, stop greenlighting this stuff.
well, it wasn't he wasn't in charge. He wasn't around then, right? So I don't blame him for that. That's
Yeah, I know,
see
but like
Netflix.
I'm hoping he doesn't greenlight anymore because
But he did say he is tasked with making better films, not necessarily fewer films. Uh, focus on quality and quantity.
yeah, well hopefully they stay true to that.
I, look, if you bomb on one movie, yeah. I mean, technically, if you bomb on one movie and you don't have a sequel, if you didn't have a sequel made, yeah, I think you could got a sequel, right? But fortunately, they had two movies made, right? So they had to get the sequel out no matter the results of the first movie, right? But since they don't have a third movie, to me, the third movie should be on the chopping block. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with Zack Snyder on how long. I don't know if it's up or what. Um, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I'm blinded. That's just a random thing. I don't know. Yeah, that was weird. That was on Tony's channel. That was weird as hell. Yeah. I don't. Um. um. But like seriously, I would. It's like George. It's like you're a coach in sports. If you can't put a good team out product, if you don't improve, you have to go in a different direction.
Yeah, it's time to rebuild. I mean,
Eh,
let's be honest. Zack Snyder's more cooked than the Warriors.
yeah, see, like I know Netflix has signed directors to deals, right? I know Adam Sandler, right? Adam Sandler has a deal with Netflix, and his films on Netflix are hit or miss, right? They're either good or bad. Sometimes. Greta Gerwig has a deal. I mean, Gerwig has a deal with Netflix. I think she's doing Narnia. I'm more like I have faith in Narnia on Netflix because of Greta Gerwig because she's
But that's
doing
what I
that.
mean.
I have faith in Netflix.
It depends on the creator. Like, you know, The Irishman is still a great movie despite being super long, but that's directed by Martin Scorsese. So, like, if it's a creator that I trust, then I have no problem. I can't trust Snyder right now with his own IP stuff. That like that's crazy, but I can't.
Yes, that's blinded. Yes, we do. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, why greenlight a third movie? Oh, but yeah, but it's not as cool, man. Like, the,
Yeah, it's not as cool. It's like when I saw the lightsaber stuff, I was like, "This is boring."
but he's not the first to do something like that. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder's not the first to be inspired by lightsabers or make something like that.
I mean,
He's not the first.
I'm pretty sure Megatron in the 1986 Transformers movie
Yeah,
had a lightsaber, and that was
yeah.
more cool than this.
I'd rather watch Fallout again too.
Blinded, this movie makes Madam Web look like Empire Strikes Back.
Makes I mean it makes the Marvels is better than this. Okay.
New basketball analogies. Okay, if that's the case, you know what? Here it is. Zack Snyder's movies are like the Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards right now.
Uh
They're just at the bottom of the barrel.
yes, Madden Web is great. Great.
Well, after watching this movie, I now think Madam Web is great.
This Madden Web has contention for Razzie Movie of the Year now. This is it. They have a contender.
Lord.
Yep, they have a contender now. Good for Madam Web. Man of Man may not win. That's it here.
It's just how.
And the hype for this movie,
Well,
there was.
well,
You know what's weird? There wasn't. You know what's great? There wasn't much hype for this movie as there was for the first one. I was
yeah, because that's the first one. It's like, do we really want another one of these? First of all, the mistake that this movie made, this movie had came out like five 5 months after
yeah.
the first one came out. You don't really have like that much time to process. I mean, good lord, there was more distance between Last Jedi and Solo.
And then I know Zack Snyder's gonna say, "Oh, you gotta watch the extended editions." The
I
extended
don't want,
editions.
but yeah, after this, I don't want to watch an extended version of this.
If here's Zach, if Netflix, if Netflix wanted extended editions to come out, they would release it right away. Because of Netflix, man, you don't need to release a 2-hour cut on Netflix. You're not in a fucking theater, man. Okay.
And by the way, I'm just sick and tired of this excuse of seeing the extended
It
cut.
is.
You either release the full thing
Yeah.
or
You
not.
could
Stop
here.
half-assing it. See,
Here's the thing: we
this
could
is the
pause.
problem.
We could pause and film, right? If you could 4-hour film, we could pause and film. If you're at home watching, we're not in a movie theater. We can't really pause anything. But yeah, go ahead, George.
No, it's just he has this problem where it's like he has to rely on extended cuts for his movie to be better. I'm sorry. Yes, there are movies that have extended cuts. A lot of them don't rely on the extended cut to be considered a good movie.
Marvel, Marvel movies. There could be a lot of extended cuts for Marvel movies. They film a lot of stuff that never make it to the make it to the big screen.
But
Marvel does
Marvel,
it.
to its credit, doesn't
Yeah,
rely on that.
exactly. Right? Marvel films, yeah, Marvel movies could go 4 hours if you really think about 4 hours, 3.5 hours or 4 hours. But they don't need to. They don't rely on that.
No, this is just a recurring thing that Zach has been doing. It's not like if, let's say, Marvel did it once or twice, or if, let's say, Quentin Tarantino did it once or twice. This
Look,
is
Lord
a
of the Rings.
constant theme of Zach's with
Yeah.
basically like the past decade. He was doing it with DC, and now he's doing it with his own movies.
Lord
His own
of the
IP.
Rings. Lord of the Rings have extended cuts, but they decide to do that just for so the fans get to see what else is missed, right? What else is there? It didn't really affect the overall films, right? It didn't really affect the story, right? Where the extended cuts, BVS, yeah, we got the extended cut of BVS, and it did film some plot holes and some stuff, right? But that shouldn't be an extended cut.
That
Why?
should have been the movie.
Yeah.
Because look, I think most people will agree, even if you may not think BVS The Ultimate Cut is still a good movie, it's still made for a better movie than what we
Yeah.
got in theaters. If you release the Ultimate Cut, you could have a better chance of maybe, getting a better word of mouth, and maybe you could have made more money at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and it's like, if it's 3 hours, so what? There are movies that have come out for 3 hours in theaters. I mean, look, 3 years later, Avengers Endgame did it, and guess what? It broke a lot of records.
Here's the thing. Is if it's a good movie, 3 hours fly by quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're not looking at your phone. I mean, if you are, shame on you. Because you don't look at your watch. You don't look at your phone. You see the time, right? If it's a good movie, time goes by quick. They say, George, when you're having fun, time goes fast, right?
Yes, that's true.
Exactly. Every direction's a hack.
It's just
yes.
This is
yes.
becoming basically all that I've gotten from these Rebel Moon movies is that Zack Snyder, I think, has been exposed. His style has been exposed. His flaws have been exposed.
No, Snyder is a hack Snyder. These Rebel Moon movies really. I should Army of the Dead, right? I don't like Army of the Dead, right? Obviously, but Rebel Moon is the worst movie.
And the thing is, it's like his ego has gotten worse, in my opinion.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
saw that interview where he's like saying how like he doesn't like how people are voting down his movies or against his movies. It's like what like you complain about about people not enjoying your movies. Listen, Marvel's got its problems. Marvel's not perfect, but there's still a reason why more people we're going to Marvel movies than his DC movies.
Yeah.
Because with Zack Snyder, you really didn't have trust in him. I mean, you didn't really have much trust in DC overall, unless you were Nolan or Matt Reeves. But people at least trusted the Marvel brand. They don't trust it as much anymore, and that's a problem Marvel's gonna have to work on. But like, you can make the case that like at least fans knew what they were gonna get.
Hmm.
With Zack Snyder, it's like you're gonna get
You
something
know,
that's not gonna be as exciting,
you know
probably.
what Zack Snyder is? Zack Snyder thinks he's a director that he appeals to a large, wider audience, right? He thinks his style will appeal to a large, wider audience, right? And he knows that his style would actually really appeals to a smaller audience, right? Not a
Yeah,
large.
the edge lords,
Yeah, yeah.
like the people who basically find the mature dark fan fictions of their favorite characters.
He did kind of hurt DC, yeah. Yeah, see, like,
I mean, this is pretty much the guy that probably would find the I'm not like he would attract the people, in my opinion, that would like the dark, edgy Star Wars fanfics
there's
where like Anakin's just like tearing down everyone and blood's getting all over him.
there's like directors stores out there. They know their style appeals to a smaller audience than the large worldwide audience, right? And they know that, so they make movies directly to that, right? Obviously, right? Zack Snyder,
That's a flaw for Zach because
yeah,
he can't rely on this fan base forever.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Because we've just seen, like I just mentioned before, examples of Snyder fans that like Snyder's other work, including the Snyder Cut, that shitted on this movie.
Yeah, see, like great, like Bay. Yeah, you can say Bay sometimes. See, the thing with Bay, Bay to me is up and down director, but he has some really good movies, like really good movies, right? And you can say with his Transformer stuff or some other stuff, but he at least he has like some really good movies on his resume. Michael Bay, like
To to
The Rock might be his best.
to Michael Bay's credit, that movie that came out, Ambulance, did
Yeah,
his recent movie Ambulance did get pretty good reviews. Same thing with his Benghazi movie.
yeah.
But I think I think he's trying to find his way back from relying on Transformers. But it's
I
like,
think it's
here's the thing I can say about Michael Bay. While I don't enjoy some of the things about his style of humor, he at least makes entertaining movies.
yes, like The Rock, man. The Rock is
Like here's the
legendary
thing.
movie.
Here's the thing that Michael Bay will have that Zack Snyder will never have. He has two $1 billion movies. Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction. They're not great movies. Age of Extinction's a terrible
Yeah,
movie with a terrible joke in there. But a lot of people went out to the theater and saw it.
and here's the thing.
Well,
I mean, Netflix has better people talent on board now. I mean, Greta Gerwig's leaps and bounds better than Zack Snyder. Okay. uh,
but it's like there's terrible movies that make a lot of money, and then
yeah.
there's terrible movies that just don't. He can't even make the terrible movies that that make a lot of money.
Well, you could BVS could be wherever VOD BVS. I mean, it didn't make a billion, but it did make a lot of money, even though it had like the largest drop. What was the opening weekend? Like 400 million? I don't even know. I don't know. Did that beat Endgame? How much was Endgame's opening weekend box office? Because Endgame, yeah, 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 exactly.
Mm. Sorry,
Yeah, you think? I
I
mean,
found something that I might eat tomorrow.
oh, nice, nice. I mean, there's movies by directors that we like that we always call out, right? We call out. right? All the time, all the time, right? We do. We're fair. Um, like you just talked about Michael Bay. I like some. I like the first Transformer movies. The Rock. I like The Rock. That was such a great. What 96, 95? That was a great movie. Also, I like his Bad Boy stuff.
I mean, yeah. Listen, Michael Bay. Is it weird that I feel like Michael Bay has made better movies than Zack Snyder?
I think he's a better director than Zack Snyder, personally.
I mean, here's the thing. I think. Well, here's the thing. Michael Bay at least knows that the general audience wants entertaining blockbusters. His definition of entertaining doesn't always work
And
with some of his inappropriate jokes, but at least he knows that people want to be entertained.
maybe these people that maybe Degrassi, maybe these people adjusted, right? Adjusted and learned and
But even
right?
Michael Bay adjusted his style.
Yeah, right?
Like that's the thing that's the other thing. Michael Bay has at least adjusted his style. Zack Snyder has never adjusted his style. You I'm gonna make another sports analogy. Zack Snyder, he's like Dwight Howard in the sense that he never adjusted his style. Like Dwight Howard never adjusted his game, and that's why like he stopped being an all-star.
Yeah,
Like he
exactly.
never adjusted his game. He never learned how to post up. Zack Snyder never learned to change his style to what the general audience wants or what more people would be willing to see.
Is Michael Bay's last movie Ambulance? Is it 2 years ago? Or
I think so. But
it's,
that's the thing. He has not adjusted his style, and he's basically saying it's everyone else's fault but his.
he does tend, yeah, and yeah, Ambulance, yeah.
Like Bay had well, here's the thing. I thought Bay was fine, but then I think as the Transformer movies went on, he got bored. But it's like he went back to what people enjoyed about his movies, I feel like.
You know what I think? I think when he did Transformers movies, like oh yeah, this is Transformers. This is it's just a kiddie show being live action. Be like, you know what? I don't have to take this franchise seriously, right? It's like I think that's what I think Bay thought of the
And
Transformers.
that's another thing Blind just brought up. He thinks he's deep. Listen, he ain't deep. He's not Christopher. Listen,
Oh,
listen. I don't care how much Christopher Nolan likes Zach. He's not
Fincher's a better
Christopher Nolan.
director.
He's not Denis Villeneuve. He's not David Fincher.
Did
He's
he?
not Steven Spielberg. He's not any of these
Did
deep
he?
filmmakers. He's not Greta Gerwig.
Did he hear? Did he hear this interview about he's looking forward to James Gunn new DCU, and he said something about mythology, like as he treat him like mythology. Here's the thing.
But here's the thing that actually makes James Gunn better than Zack Snyder. James Gunn has shown several different comics.
Nobody treats Batman like he's a mythological character, okay? I'm sorry. Batman's never been treated like a mythological character. Okay? Superman, sure, I can see. Wonder Woman is basically a mythological character, but Batman's never been treated like that, okay? In the comics, anywhere, like a mythological character. He's treated like sometimes as not like a godly character. Batman's not treated like a godly character by people in Gotham. Yes, he's smart, he's intelligent, he can do all this shit, but they don't treat him like he's a god, right? Mythology correct. Superman's a different thing. Wonder, but it's just that's his problem. That's his problem. He thinks he thinks the Flash is a mythology. Like seriously, okay. And you know what? The Avengers get treated more like a mythology kind of people. They're always respected by the people of Earth. Thor is a god. Okay? Oh, if you told Batman that you're like a god, Batman, and you ever do this, Batman would be like, no, I'm just a regular human being. Yeah. Okay. It's just the difference between Gunn and yeah, verbal diarrhea. He's like James Gunn is it's a better comic historian fan than Zack Snyder. You could tell you could tell by introducing characters that nobody's really. I mean, comic book fans will hear of, but like characters that are kind of like really on the lower tier of DC. Okay, like I'll give you an example. I guarantee you, Zack Snyder would have never have a character like a Metamorpho, ever. Okay, Metamorpho ever, or or who else? Zach. Well, James Gunn. Exactly, and have him die in the second movie, right? You know that to me, that's a witty insult to the Death of Superman comic because in that movie he wasn't really accepted by the whole world, right? Right? He was accepted by some people of the world, right? There were some people that were accepting him and some people weren't, right? He went to the government, right? And I understand his sacrifice is supposed to be to a point where everybody falls in love with him. But in Death of Superman, his sacrifice protecting the world from doomsday meant more because everybody mourned his death. Everybody mourned his death. Everybody loved him. The mourning of his death in Death of Superman meant more than BVS because everybody loved him before, not after, before. You know what I'm saying, George?
Yeah,
It's like
there was a build up to that where in the movie it was like, nah, we
yeah,
gotta get this done over with.
I don't. Here, you see, if he died in Justice League protecting the world, and if he saved, if he did defeated Doomsday, and he didn't die, fine, okay. Then people accepted him. If he died in Justice League, which obviously people would be mad at, but at least I would accept his death in Justice League more because at that point everybody would love him. The world would accept him. Like if James Gunn decides to kill Superman in if one draft, but if he decides to kill off Superman and like obviously bring him back, it has to be like what the death of Superman. It has to be like where the world loves him. Okay, and they go to his funeral. The Justice League goes to his funeral. All that, and you know what the worst part is? His fucking funeral, Superman's fucking funeral, was like there wasn't even a lot of people at his funeral in Death of Superman. And it was so bad. And that's one of my criticisms about Marvel too. Marvel too. So Tony Stark's funeral. Is they see Tony, George. See, Marvel did it right. He sacrificed his life to save Earth, and bring everybody back. Tony Stark.
Well, there was an 11-year build up to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
3 solo movies. He was in 3 Avenger movies before Avengers Endgame, which was his 4th one.
Yeah,
he was in Captain America: Civil War, Spider-Man: Homecoming. He was in like several movies before his sacrifice.
The only criticism I have about the funeral is I think there should be a lot more people than just the Avengers and other heroes. It was just Avengers and other heroes.
Oh, well, I think that was more like a private thing.
Fuck private thing, man. Fuck that.
Well,
there should have been a eulogy. Somebody should say a eulogy. There was no eulogy.
Well, they could have shown maybe more cities having tributes, but honestly, I prefer the fact that it was like a private gathering of like his allies, his friends.
Yeah, but most of the people that were some of the people that were there in the battle were not even his friend. Don't even really know him. But like you see, if I could do it, if I'm gonna do a major death in a comic book movie, Superman, Batman, I want to be a huge freaking I want to call it, what do you call it, a ceremony? What do you call it, a ceremony? A huge freaking funeral, right? Because the death of Superman, it was huge. Batman, there was Batman's funeral, supposed funeral. If you have from the Crisis, even though it was a clone, it was pretty big too. Like you gotta make these mean something to the people of Earth. It's because you know what, George, right? George, in real life, we have celebrities dying, big time celebrities like Muhammad Ali, sports celebrities. They have people, just regular fans say just regular fans visit them in the casket. It's true, just they do stuff like that. I think Muhammad Ali had like a bunch of not just friends and family, but like fans, whoever who could come. I think some sports alumni had that when they passed away. Like I know from example in hockey, Montreal Canadiens, when Montreal Canadiens legends passed away, they would have them in the casket in Montreal, in the Montreal Stadium, hockey stadium, and fans would just say their goodbyes to them. I mean, like I don't know what. Hey, Blinded, you shouldn't get a next movie. Honestly, because they are teasing a third movie. I don't think you should get a next movie.
Blinded, if he gets another movie, then I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to like change my channel's direction.
Oh yeah,
I'll start. I'll have to change my name.
I know this is true, buddy. I know the guys. I know the famous comic book of that.
I'll have to call my channel Nerds and Players.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though, like
and start making Geeks and Gamers like content. Except instead of being like Jeremy, where it's like get woke, go broke, I'm gonna celebrate wokeness.
It's funny though. The thing about Avengers Endgame.
And I think he got muted again.
I've had a couple of criticisms about Endgame. I know Tony Stark. Okay, he deserves stuff. He deserves that. That funeral scene, that eulogy. But what about Natasha got side? Black Widow got.
Yo, she should have gotten something.
Yeah, Black Widow.
You want to know something? Black Widow deserves it more than Superman.
Oh yeah,
because let me also bring up the amount of times Black Widow appeared before her death. So let's see, she was in 4 Avenger movies, including Avengers Endgame.
Second Iron Man movie.
No, only the second Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
And she was in Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. So she was in 7 movies, including Endgame.
Yeah, Black Widow. The Black Widow movie doesn't count because that takes place during the saga. Yeah.
I mean, granted, like the events of that movie, happened, before Infinity War and Endgame, but still.
The only time we see her buried, I don't know if it's really. I don't know if they could get her body because I'm pretty sure it's at the mountain of whatever. I don't know. There's probably no body there because we know what happens to her, right? She's like that when they got the Soul Stone, right? I'm pretty sure there's no body where at the funeral, but whatever, at the cemetery. But that's the only time we only see this tombstone, which apparently is buried, right, by Yelena, right? So, like seriously, they should have done something for her. Like, there's a Vision, Count Gang, Vision to get a funeral. Vision's a robot. I don't think they get funerals. Loki, I don't even think Loki got some form of an Asgardian funeral. Gamora, I don't even think Gamora got. Wow, the one that died, right? The one that died. At least Black Panther got a funeral, but Black Panther funeral only people Wakanda visited. Nobody from the outside world, but out of Wakanda went to the funeral for T'Challa. You didn't see like any like. I mean, you don't have to have every hero there. You could have like a cameo from like I don't know, Sam Wilson or something, or Bucky. I mean, why not Bucky? Didn't T'Challa let Bucky stay in Wakanda? And Black Panther tried twice. That's true. But you see my point. Why couldn't they have a cameo of Bucky and Black Panther 2 at T'Challa's funeral? He let him stay. T'Challa let him stay in Wakanda. Why couldn't they do something like that? Why couldn't they see? I mean, this is why Marvel's dying. Can't fight. Hire me. I got great ideas. A great idea.
Listen. The worst Marvel movie is still a million times better than any of these Rebel Moon movies and Army of the Dead. I'm sorry.
That's factual.
It's fact. Listen, the worst Marvel movies I pretty sure is considered at this point Thor: The Dark World, if not Quantumanium and Eternals. Those 3 movies are still a million times better than this. then whatever you would even call
I-
this, I don't even know if what to even call this anymore.
Secret Invasion, even though it's a TV show, is better than this. Because at least the story somehow made sense in Secret Invasion. Just, I don't know what the fuck it was.
It was basically Zack Snyder. Because remember, he said he wrote a Star Wars story. He turned his edgy Star Wars fan fiction into this nauseating cinematic abomination. You know what? I wouldn't even call it cinematic because it didn't even have that big of a theatrical release. I think it was a few theaters.
The first one was.
This streaming monstrosity.
The first one was in a few theaters. This one was in, and you had to pay for those. This one was in more theaters. Like the Grassy said, more theaters, which is free and not sold out. Like none of them were
like what I remember one time Shannon Sharp said it best. How could you not want something that's free? How bad must you be?
When something is free, if a movie is free and the theater doesn't sell out, that means the general public has no interest in that movie. Nothing.
It's like, how could you not want something that's free? How bad must you be?
Exactly.
Like, good lord.
Exactly. Exactly. How can you not watch something free?
Like we need Shannon Sharp on this show. We need Shannon Sharp to review Zack Snyder movies.
If you say a movie is free in the theaters, then that gives the audience the impression, yeah, this movie is shit.
You know what I should do? You know how like Stephen A has his ask me questions and I'll answer them?
Yes.
I should ask Stephen A. Smith what he thinks of Zack Snyder as a director.
You'd be like, Zach who?
Zach
I like
who?
Superman.
I mean, then again,
like
you pronounce Vegeta as Vegeta.
I mean, he has as top 5 list. He has one of the worst movies in there. Disney. Vegeta. That's for that. It's Vegeta. Zack Snyder. Who? I will say it. Okay. Blinded. Okay, you do it. Man, I'm gonna end it here, guys. It's a very short, bad stream.
Oh my goodness.
We don't censor words here, guys.
We don't censor nothing here. Well, maybe a few things, but
yeah. But yeah, man, this was
just basically us bashing this.
A recommendation. Well, I want you guys to see if you haven't seen the movie, see the movie for yourself and shit on it.
You know what? How about this? You know what? Actually, go to the theaters and go watch either Spider-Man 2 this week or any old movie that's coming out because that is worth a lot more than watching this on Netflix. Good lord, when Phantom Menace comes out in a couple of weeks in theaters again, that'll be worth more seeing.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is like when it's this movie. If you really want to go to sleep, watch the first hour of this film. That's it. If you want to go to sleep, the first hour of the film makes you go to sleep. Will make you want to go to sleep because it's really that boring. Okay. Especially the first hour. I mean, the whole film makes you want to go to sleep, but the first hour really makes you
fall asleep in the first half hour. It wasn't until
you
reminded me that the Knicks game was on that I was like, oh, thank God, something else to watch.
So this movie is a tale of two things. This movie, the first hour is just setting up, and the second hour is basically the whole war battle. That's it. And it wasn't even good. It wasn't even good.
By the way, thank you for reminding me of the Knicks game being on because that was more exciting to watch the Knicks beat the 76ers than
I know.
Watching all the Zack Snyder-isms fail miserably.
If before I end this, if Embiid is not healthy, the Sixers are done.
Listen, I'm just going to say this. I'm guaranteeing my New York Knicks are going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Because if the Sixers are not healthy, we're going to beat them. I think the Pacers are going to beat the Bucks in the first round, and I think we can beat the Pacers. But here's even if the Bucks get lucky and beat the Pacers, Doc Rivers is going to choke in the second round, so we're guaranteed to win.
I mean, if they have no Giannis, right, for the whole series.
Well, listen, if he has a 3-1 lead, New York going to creep up.
But nobody's beating Boston.
Yeah, no one wants to be Boston, but that's okay. That's okay. All we need to do is get to the Eastern Conference Finals next year. We aim for the NBA Finals. Because
Yeah.
guess what? We're without Julius Randle. If we had Julius Randle, those Celtics would be in danger.
Yep. So yeah, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment below, and sub to George. George, everything planned up?
Either tonight or maybe tomorrow before I go to the movies. I think I'll do my next Funko Pop collection video. I got some Funko Pops recently, and it's been a while, and I figure I have enough where I can do a new collection video. Also, because War for the Planet of the not War, Kingdom for the Planet of the Apes will be coming out in a few weeks.
Yes.
Before I go on my vacation, I want to get my review of War for the Planet of the Apes done so I can review at least the new Planet of the Apes movies before the movie comes out. If I see Phantom Menace in theaters before I go on vacation, maybe I'll do a review on that as well to celebrate the 25th anniversary. Because I never reviewed a Star Wars movie on this channel. So.
First time for everything. Oh, yeah, that's you all know before firstly ended. Just to let you know, Wolverine turns 50 years old. The character, Wolverine Logan's 50 years old this year.
Wolverine, sweepy sword.
And there's a reason why Deadpool and Wolverine are coming out this year. It's because Wolverine turns 50. The character itself, the debut of Wolverine turns 50. Just to let you all know. And there's Funko Pops on pre-order that are celebrating the 50-year anniversary of Wolverine. Look. That you can pre-order. But yeah. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Bye.